Sure. Hey, Dave. It's good to see you smiling. So hope you're feeling good.
Thank you.
All over the bed salad or whatever it was. But I guess just what are your initial thoughts on going to Stillwater playing Grand Canyon?
Well, Stillwater, haven't seen the facility since it's been completed, but it looks beautiful. So excited to see that and play there. And Grand Canyon, Coach Stankiewicz, good friend of mine, great coach. Uh, they're always good, very good defensive team. They can pitch, and this year they're swinging it. I think they're hitting over 300 as a team for the season, and won their league again. So hey, I'm glad we're in the regional. I think if you look at some of the teams that aren't, you know how hard it is to get to them.
And were you holding out like the minutest hope you guys might get a regional last night, or were you pretty resigned to the fact you wouldn't? And are you glad if you had to go on the road, you didn't get shipped out to Corvallis or Blacksburg or wherever?
Yeah. So no, I didn't feel like we were going to host a regional. RPI wasn't really where it needed to be, and losing down the stretch didn't help, obviously. So, and then I would say that again, I'm just glad we're in a regional. Take wherever they give you, but I think it's kind of nice that we get to stay a little closer.
Yeah, I might have a couple more. I'll turn it back to Oliver. Thanks, Dave.
Okay,
Tom?
Hi, Dave. In your experience, when a team is doing like y'all are now, what are the things that need to happen to, kind of maybe kickstart, or what can you do?
maybe just change our mindset a little bit, and take a step back and reevaluate, the long season, and maybe think about more of the good things that we've done, and just be real positive. As far as gameplay, we need to score. We need to score earlier in the game than we have in the. It seems like we've struggled a little bit getting off to a good start. We've been behind a lot, trying to fight back, and we did it a few times down the stretch, but more times than not, we didn't catch them, obviously. So just I don't know. I think more than anything, just change our minds. It's a new season, and anything can happen.
Do you rethink the rotation order or anything, or what's going to play into the decision on who's starting these games?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't talked about it yet, but we'll definitely go with who we think's the best matchup to get Grand Canyon out. We'll start to look at some video on them and just research, their offense. Are they right or left-handed, and then make a decision from there.
Gotcha. The synergy between the fans and the players, and I guess the media, just seems to be a little bit off right now. Any thoughts about current events?
Not really.
Okay. I got more later too.
Hutch?
Dave, I know it's two completely different teams, but you played Grand Canyon back in 2020 before the pandemic. Do you have any recollection of those two games, and do you any thoughts of playing them again?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that last game, I remember I think Will was on the mound, McIntyre was on the mound, and we turned double play. We were up a run. It was a tight game, like 9-8 or high scoring game. And we don't turn double play, they tie it. So I think the runners were first and third. That's really about what I remember. I mean, after that, I think the next year was a blur, obviously. And, as far as playing Grand Canyon, like I said earlier, Coach Stankiewicz is an outstanding coach and former big leaguer, as coach at Arizona State. I mean, he's well respected, and they're just really well coached, and it's going to be a battle. It's going to be a really good regional.
And then I think a lot of the projections kind of had y'all slotted in Stillwater. So were you kind of expecting this? Were you able to get any advanced like scouting or anything done on maybe Oklahoma State or even Missouri State?
So we didn't do any scouting early until we knew who we were going to be playing or where we were going. Yeah, and I did feel like we were going to go to Stillwater.
Dudley?
Yeah, obviously you'd rather be playing this at home, but you've gotten to the College World Series through being on the road before. Is there, especially with scuffling a little bit, can you take a us against the world philosophy into Stillwater?
Well, I'm sure that's one way to say it. It's we feel like we haven't played good down the stretch, as everyone knows. So we want to flip it. Sometimes maybe going on the road is you know, a little less distraction. So we'll see how it turns out. You know, obviously we'd love to be playing here in front of our fans, but we're not, and we know what's in front of us. So we're going to just embrace it and go get after it.
Andrew Ellis.
Yeah, Coach, you guys played 2 games last week, and now we'll have a full week off before your next game. Do you anticipate that rest kind of being able to help you guys reset and refresh heading into this regional?
You'd think it would. I think we gave them two days off, Saturday, Sunday, with an option to lift. Had the weight room open and available to them a couple hours each day. And if they didn't want to come, no big deal. Had a couple guys, you know, hitting in our indoor facility the last couple of days when I've been around, just on their own. And it's time for the guys to take. Sometimes it's nice just not for them to have a schedule where they don't have to be somewhere and do something. And I think that truly makes it a situation where they feel like they're getting some rest. Today's light, little offense, hitting, and some defensive work around the bases. Pitchers are getting their workouts in. It'll be separate. Team will be separate. Pitchers and then position players, they won't be together. And then tomorrow, you know, Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll get team workouts in, and then I imagine we'll head to Stillwater. But I guess to get back to your question, yeah, I think that you get a little downtime, get a chance to rest a little bit, and then we won't overdo it the next couple of days. We'll just try to get them right.
Come back around, Bob.
Yeah, Dave, Grand Canyon, look at their schedule, man. They beat Oregon State and Arizona State, Stanford. I mean, they look like a freaking Pac-12 team or something. What do you think about their season? And they don't look like a typical 3 seed.
No, they won their league 20. I think they were 25-5 or something like that in league play. And then, you know, their midweeks, they caught some of those teams probably early. Arizona State obviously is right around the street. They're good. And I mean, I don't know what else I can say. Arizona's got a lot of good players. They recruit out of Arizona big time. They get kids out of California. Grand Canyon's a up and coming university nationally. And it's, I mean, it's a good place.
You mentioned knowing Coach Stankiewicz. Hope I said his name right. What's the background of that? How do you all know each other? How close are you guys?
A little bit from Team USA, you know, when I've been at the complex, you know, with the national team, you know, he was maybe coaching a 16 and under team. And I don't know, we just, and playing over the years. And when I have talked with him and competed against him, I think we have a lot of the same ideas about baseball and the way you do things. And I have a lot of respect for him.
And as far as the ballpark over there, yeah, it's new. Have you heard, is it a pitcher's park, hitter's park? Are you just anxious to see it, or what do you think about playing over in a pretty new facility?
Yeah, I would say it sits the same direction that the old ballpark did, and it was definitely a hitter's park. You know, it all has to do with the wind. So when the wind's out of the south, southeast, southwest, it's going to be blowing out somewhere, maybe even out of the west. So I would say on those days it's a hitter's park. On the other days it's plays pretty normal, or maybe more toward the pitcher's park. The way it works usually in this region, this area, with the way the wind blows.
And then you're a guy, you know, like I said, in 2015, you guys advanced out of Stillwater as a 2 seed and went to Omaha. In 2009, you guys lost your last 8 SEC games. You went to the World Series. So I mean, you've had teams that had high expectations. You've had teams that maybe people weren't expecting a whole lot out of, or not expecting to get to Omaha anyway. And yet you've had success based on all that experience you've had being in these kind of situations. How do you think that plays into this? And sorry, that was such a long-winded question.
Well, you know, basically, I think, like I mentioned earlier as well, when you get to this part of the season, if you haven't finished well and you get in, you're just kind of glad that the regular season's behind you. You did enough work to get an opportunity to go to a regional. And hope you can get back a little bit of that, you know, that confidence and you know, get back to where you were playing better. And that's what definitely happened in 2012. 2015 was was a really, really rough start. I think we were 15-15 at one point. I think we won a game at Memphis, went on down to Ole Miss, played okay, and we just got better. It wasn't an overly talented team as far as pro players, except for Benintendi, who was the best player in college baseball that year. But we had just enough, and we won. We had some things go our way. We got to, we did win the regional at Stillwater, and then we got to play at home because of the stadium issue with Missouri State, and we did just enough to win that game 3-2. And game 3, it was tough, but you never know how it's going to go. You never know exactly what's going through some of your guys' heads as far as confidence or super excited to be here or looking forward to the next chapter in their life, and just try to round them up and get them to come together for a weekend and see if you can move on.
Thanks.
Tom?
Hey, Dave, I looked it up. McIntyre started game 1 against Grand Canyon. It was
Okay.
6-1 win. And then Kevin Kopp started game 2.
So
So
who finished the game? Did somebody,
game 2?
who was on the mound when we turned the double play? I guess I was thinking it was
Peyton Paulette for sure.
Peyton was. That's right. I knew that. That's right. I knew Will was involved somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was a good 2-game series. We played really well, honestly, because we were scuffing along. I think we had lost 4 or 5 in a row when they came in, and I'm thinking, wow, these guys, this is no drop off here. And we won a couple of games, and I don't know, maybe we lost a few before that, but we got it going a little bit there.
Yeah. So my question, McIntyre, what he did for you guys against Auburn in game 3 was a big deal. Him and Morris kind of both emerged around that time. What have they meant to you guys?
They've been big. That was right around the time we met with the team. We said we got to have more. We got to have a couple guys step up, a position player or two, a pitcher or two. We got to get a little deeper in the bullpen, and those guys did it for us. And hopefully they can build off of that and have confidence going into postseason.
Yeah. And then my last question. So you move Webb to lead off. It just seems like you're kind of tinkering still. I know you can't reveal what your lineup will be, but just what are your general thoughts about what needs to happen?
Yeah. You could go, I can go look at on base percentage and batting average and runs scored and drive you crazy, because Gregory's got the best on base percentage, but he's not hitting real well right now, but he's still getting on, and it's hard to put him at the top or in the 2-hole. And Webb's dangerous. He actually will take a walk, but he get a home run. Wallace has done a pretty good job there, but I don't know if he loves it there. So what I'm going to do is try to put together a lineup that maybe can get us on a run, maybe one that can work for a while. So still tinkering, and hopefully something will work out.
Hutch?
Yeah, Dave, kind of along the lines of what Bob was asking earlier, you've been doing this a long time. Are you able to kind of draw on past experiences when a team's going through some of these struggles, or is it just every team's so different that it's kind of year to year?
Now you look back at experience and compare this guy to that guy or this team to that team, and remember how you got out of it, or maybe something that didn't work. And we've been doing that a little bit. And really it's been about being positives and talking about the future instead of the past. And, this team did that and this team did that, you go over things, and you don't want to, I don't think these guys are smart. They know if we're trying to sandbag them a little bit, it's that time of year that we shouldn't have to motivate anybody. It's more about just getting ready for the game, them getting healthy, feeling good when they throw the first pitch.
And then a couple of quick ones. I think Tiger, was not feeling well the other day. How's he feeling, and is he good to go for this weekend?
Yeah, he's good. He threw a bullpen yesterday, and he was really good with it. Coach Hobbs said he threw extremely well. So I think he's 100%. He told me later, I said, what happened? And he just said, I think I might have got dehydrated. I said, you got to learn from that, because we're playing in the heat. You can't just start drinking water in the morning. You got to take care of that in advance. And it's something that we'll be discussing with our team again today and tomorrow, and really keeping an eye on them.
And last thing I got, how are you doing? Are you back to 100% physically?
I don't know about 100%, but because I'm not supposed to eat certain things, supposed to eat, things that are pretty bland and smooth, so to speak. I mean, it's been a strange situation. Still don't know what happened. I know that I was a few hours away from having surgery and getting another opinion, and they really never know what happened. They don't know if you have a parasite. They don't know, if it's food poisoning, but I was just in some pretty good pain, and it was not getting any better. And to the point where you finally, when you start throwing up, when you're in a hotel room by yourself, you finally go, I think I better get some help here.
Dudley,
Who are your vocal leaders on the team, and have you seen them kind of stepping forward in these last few days?
Yeah. The team's not real vocal. It's something we've talked about a lot, but we have a lot of really good people on this team, so to speak, as far as they'll lead, but they really want to lead by example. Don't have a lot of raw guys. It's kind of nice to have a guy that'll get with you every now and then and gets upset and can command that locker room a little bit. But we have a lot of leaders, but as far as the vocal one, honestly, I don't know if we really have one.
all right, Bob, last one, close it out.
Yeah, Dave, you really hadn't talked about too much about Oklahoma State and Missouri State. Seems like you can't get away from Missouri State, but what do you think about Oklahoma State as a host team? Then did Missouri State show you something in Fayetteville that made you think, hey, these guys might win that Valley tournament and be a good team?
Well, Oklahoma State, I've been keeping up with them. I'm friends with Rob Walton, their pitching coach, and we coached together one summer with Team USA, and really good coach, good guy. And I sent a text to him early this morning because I wasn't sure where we were going, and I just said, "Who else is coming to Stillwater besides us?" And he goes, "I haven't heard anything," and I was just playing with him a little bit, but they really pitch well. They've got 3 really good starters, got some big arms in the pen, swung the bat well. They've been steady all year. Everybody has a little ups and downs, and their league's extremely good this year with OU coming on. TCU won the league regular season, but didn't get to host because they didn't do well in the tournament, and they didn't have very good RPI. Texas is good, obviously. So, they're at the top of a real good league, playing a great ballpark. And then as far as Missouri State, I knew Missouri State had the conference tournament at their ballpark. So there's always that thought, and I didn't spend a lot of time with it, but I thought for sure they could win that tournament. And, deep down thought they would, because Dallas Baptist wasn't playing very well in league play. And, Evansville was playing good in Southern Illinois, and I knew Missouri State was every bit as good as them, and they got a good lineup and they play hard. So, nothing surprised me. I think we have a really, really strong regional. I think there's 10 strong regionals, or maybe more than that, but it's going to be a good challenge all the way around.
Hey, thanks, Dave.
All right, Coach, appreciate the time.
Okay, see you guys.